So I haven't listened to Joe Rogan like really ever. Like I've watched some clips of his, but I never really actually followed his podcast. I actually subscribed to it, but I never really listened to it. I listened to a fitness podcast a few years ago called Mind Pump, and I believe they're actually out of San Francisco, I think. And they talked about psychedelic drugs, all this other stuff. And the one thing about like the fitness industry and just mental health and health in general is that it's a lot more complicated and a lot more simpler than people think about it in cases. It's confusing to say, but if you really kind of understand it, it's really, there's more to it than like what people are showing you. And the one of the parts was like mental health, like psychedelic type of things. And they had people on that were like doing research within like saying like you actually using LSD to actually help with certain mental illnesses that where they would in certain dosage where it's like they give them like, say, I don't know dosage, but a small amount, and it kind of rewires their brain, or at least it helps with the symptoms of certain mental illness, like maybe anxiety or something. Same thing with mushrooms. Same thing like with what is it called? Is it DHT? I think
that sounds right.
Yeah, DHT, I think, and like certain dosage of that. Marijuana was one of the things. Like I was like basically no drugs whatsoever. Fuck all that. Like I seen it mess up people. No way. But now it's one of those things that like it's kind of like, okay, well, let's see what it can do when it's in a controlled environment and people are actually using it for certain, to help people. And so now I'm just kind of like, yeah, fuck it, go at it, man. Like the hard stuff though, like, heroin, crack, all it, like, so fuck that shit.
I mean,
but
it's I mean the scarier thing, I guess, is for kids trying it. It's because you want to start chasing a high. If you're doing it to chase a high, then it'll definitely lead you down a path to the like harder stuff. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. Like we were all like, we never really did much. We really never really drank either. I mean, well, Chaz, you still don't really drink. Neither do you, Marcus. Like we never all really drank much until later in our life. But like, so like, yeah, doing drugs was never just like, oh, we knew about it. We knew some people who did stuff. And we were just like, not for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I also wanted more science behind it, other than just my pothead friend being like, well, it's like I don't know, man.
Yeah. And I take it like I even and I listen to those podcasts, and then I kind of look on like PubMed is one site. Forget what was the other one. I think it was like examine.com or something. Those types of places. And then I listen to doctors on like the Joe Rogan podcast, and so it, like I get it from a big spectrum, right? So I kind of look at all different places, and I kind of get pieces of information. I kind of understand that, like, okay, if you do it in a controlled environment, you don't use it excessively, maybe it can help. And that's kind of like even taking CBD is one of those things that like Shawn and I start looking at. Like I actually started some CBD. Shawn actually takes some CBD, and it's like a world of difference. Like she's never slept any better when she does take it. And then it definitely she could it's like a night and day difference for her.
Right. I got into CBD because of Joe Rogan's podcast, but who's that real redneck singer? Fuck. Anyways, he's like anti-drugs. He thinks marijuana makes everyone lazy and awful and he's completely against it, but his knee was always fucked up from like he jumps off the stage all the time. And Joe Rogan gave him some CBD oil, and like he put it on his knee, and like it helps. Now he's like a spokesman for this CBD oil because it helps with his joints and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It helps with inflammation. It's like phenomenal for that. And it's like, so it's one of those things that like, well, maybe we need to take a closer look at some of these drugs and like kind of see like how they affect actually the mind and the body. And maybe we can extract the stuff that does that and like help with that.
Like I'm not a fan of big pharma. And I feel if they had the access to certain drugs like this, like maybe the stuff that they give us wouldn't be as bad for us.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like I remember hearing like when the like what would happen if marijuana was not federally demonized. So basically saying that it was federally legal now, and in the United States, like what would happen? And someone said, this is going back like a few years, they would say like, oh, like the cigarette companies would be all over it. And they like, really, you think so? Like, yeah, like I'm almost certain that they're even ready for it. And it's that because people aren't smoking cigarettes as much as they used to. And but you know, the amount of people that would probably grab and smoke some pot or, you know, marijuana would be astronomical. And they would put it in they would market that too. Like they would have their own grow farm, like all that stuff. Like if you don't think that like those big companies aren't going to see that shit on and make a profit off of it, you'd be stupid not to think that. Like
there's like THC beer, you know?
Yeah.
So of course, you know, everyone's going to jump on it, and absolutely they should. Like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
I have Jesse Ventura's book, The Marijuana Manifesto, and it goes into why marijuana was illegal to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they also went into like the reason why we were colonized was for our hemp. You know, it made the sales. It made pretty much you can make almost anything out of hemp.
Yeah.
And that's why we were colonized to begin with. It was really nothing that like because we didn't have much else. I mean, we didn't have spices or anything, as far as I know. And then like the Declaration of Independence is written on it. Like if you could still read the Declaration of Independence perfectly fine because hemp lasts longer than actual paper. Like if you get an old book, someone was talking about paper in general, like textbooks. The reason why textbooks are so expensive is the paper they use. Like that paper will last for maybe like 100 years. But if you get like a book, like the paper will start disintegrating. You know, it'll start falling apart.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
when are we gonna get back into Destiny, guys? It's not gonna be able to get an Xbox.
So the expansion that's coming out actually now in November, I actually bought it for Stadia, I think. I bought it for Stadia. And I'm gonna buy it for I haven't decided if I'm gonna buy it for PlayStation or the PC because I'm thinking about playing it for PC.
Are you still able to play with other people through different systems?
No, it doesn't have crossplay. It has cross save, but not cross play. So I could play on mine, like on Stadia, and then it's all saved, and then I could pick it up on my PlayStation, and I'll still be like where I'm at with it. So I can play it on different systems, but I can't play with other people on other systems yet. At least they don't have that designed yet.
So are there other people that you can play with on Stadia and PC?
Yeah, PC is actually probably one of the biggest platforms that they have for it.
But yeah, I'm saying, do you personally have other people that you can play with on PC?
No, but they on Stadia. I have no. I'll change that. On PC I do. On Stadia, not really, but I belong to a Facebook group that's Stadia Destiny 2, and like it's filled with like people asking like, "Hey, I need help with this. Can you help?" And like, it's really great. It's a good community because people actually come out and help, and they'll say like, "Oh yeah, just give me a friend request," all that stuff. I really like Stadia for the streaming gaming service, man, because I already have like probably like 10 or 12 free games already, all just loaded on there. I just haven't played it that much. I haven't played any games. I played Fortnite the other night and I got second place, but I don't know, like I haven't had really much of a time to play. I don't know.
Well, you're looking for a house, you're trying to sell your house. Like, I hear that's a lot going on. Like, that really is time consuming. But
yeah, it is, but a lot of it's also laziness. I just don't go downstairs to play it.
That's fine. I don't write because I'm playing video games because I'm lazy.
Yeah. That's our dynamic, man. Like, we just know, like, we're lazy sometimes, and we just say, like, yeah, I just didn't do it because I just was just watching TV.
Is there a video, Marcus? Is there a video game coming out that is like gonna be brand new that the three of us can start? Like, everyone kind of starts at a clean slate.
Not that I know of. Are you gonna check out that Ghost of Tsushima, Chaz?
I haven't played any of those type of like games.
Really?
So I don't know. So probably not.
Wait, when you say type of games, what do you mean?
Ghost of Tsushima? Isn't that like the ancient samurai game or something, or ninja game or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played any of those types of games because there's like a few of them that like are kind of like that.
Everybody's already jizzing all over that game.
Yeah, I heard that it was a really good game, but I just never wanted. I never had a want to do it. But I don't know, maybe. I don't know, man. Like, I usually try to keep track of these games that come out because I was thinking the exact same thing like you were, Shawn. Like, is there a game that's coming out that we can all play? And
yeah, I try to I try to keep a lookout for co-op games like that. I don't know. They're really not focusing on too many co-op games other than like sports games, obviously. Usually it's like single player games, and then like they add all this, they make all this extra content for it and shit. I mean, there's Destiny, obviously. There's
Call Destiny,
Call of Duty, Fortnite. It's like, basically the main co-op games right now, other than sports games, are like shooters.
Apex.
Yeah,
Apex. Game I know. Sea of Thieves.
Warzone.
It'll all be pirates.
We can do Warzone.
Warzone. Call of Duty.
Yeah. Call of Duty Warzone.
That's actually crossplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we could. It'd be cool if we can link up and play against Matt Ratter.
I was gonna say, let's get really good and fuck him up.
Yeah, I doubt that's gonna happen. Him and his buddy are probably pretty decent.
Yeah.
But I mean, we might have better teamwork once we get used to it.
I've played it. I mean, it's.
I don't know. Him and Warda and whoever else they play with are pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
So, like, we would have to get lucky against them.
Yeah. I don't know enough about the game mechanics to be really good because, I mean, there are some mechanics to it in the sense of like the types of guns and, the aiming on it, on certain ones and stuff like that, like Fortnite, I'm actually decent at least in the way that I start playing, but I don't know.
I bought my dad an Oculus for his birthday.
You did?
Yeah.
How's he like it?
It hasn't arrived yet. It'll arrive on Friday, which kind of pissed me off because it's 2020. I want everything like this. I want it in my hand right now.
Right.
Right. But I bought it. It should arrive there. I already told my sister about it. She's gonna buy him the I mean, I bought it basically so he could play the Star Trek Bridge Crew game.
Okay.
You put the Oculus on, and I watched it like you're on the bridge. You don't have to get up and move around. You can sit there and you could be the captain, the engineer, just other positions. It's single player or multiplayer. So I'm like, I think he'll really enjoy possibly being on the fucking flight deck in fucking Star Trek.
I think he likes that, yeah.
And then my mom really can't move. She hasn't been able to move around much, especially with COVID. I guess you can, like, there's other stuff you can do with like Oculus. Like, I think you can go like visit places,
yeah,
and like look around without actually having to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be really good for both of them right now during the whole pandemic lockdown thing until they're able to actually get back up and travel around.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that'll be a really cool thing. That's a really good idea. I watched. So I'm on TikTok, right?
That's
TikTok
an awful idea.
So TikTok's a really good social media platform.
It is nothing. It is nothing but created by the Chinese for facial recognition checks.
Okay, I'll take that. But there's this guy on there, and I think his name is VR Eddie or something, and he's playing like one of those fright games or something. I think it's called like Exorcist VR or something, and it's hilarious watching this guy play because when he gets really scared, he starts speaking in Spanish, and it's like it's a riot. And I just kind of realized watching those Let's Plays is like one of those. It's kind of like a thing that like I guess I just fell into, and I just like watching people play games. I don't know why. I don't know why it's entertaining to me, but it is. Maybe it's because I'm trying to study like how like they play and then kind of go off of like some of what they say or something. I don't know, but it's like addicting to me. I don't know.
My roommate has an Oculus, and he has like a haunted house type thing. I was playing it, but I didn't find it to be that scary. Then he had some people over, and this one girl was like, every time she got scared, she'd fall to the floor. And it was like 11 at night. I was just sitting there like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is crazy. Like, she fell to the floor like 4 times. Finally, the downstairs neighbor came knocking on our door. It's like, awesome. First time we've ever had someone knock on our door. He's like, we thought you were killing someone. And I was this close to just being like,
you would scream and the body would fall.
Right. I'm like, you think we'd be that fucking awful at killing someone? I'll tell you right now, if we killed someone, you would never know about it, sir. I was more offended by that, which was stupid to be offended by. But I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'm done with this. We already got the neighbors coming up knocking on our door. It wasn't even scary. It was a little creepy, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Right.
Right. The closest thing I came to that was like scary, it was like I was walking and a window was open, and I went like this to dodge because it looked like it might hit me in the head. That was about it.
Marcus, what are you watching?
I'm watching Two Broke Girls.
Oh. Kat Denning.
What?
Kat Denning, man. She's hot.
Yeah,
she was
hot.
on Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
She is voluptuous and she is cute.
She's there.
The blonde actually isn't that bad either for like a skinny chick. She has really nice legs.
Yeah. Oh, what? There's a show about 2 attractive women?
Pretty much.
2 broke girls.
Two broke girls.
What do you think it's going to be about?
It's
not definitely about them being broke.
Marcus, you think?
It's a Whitney Cummings show.
I like Whitney Cummings. We listened to her on Joe Rogan's podcast on the drive up from Nick's wedding.
Exactly.
That was a
What are
long
you
ass
gonna say,
shot.
Kev?
Did you so did you listen to Joe Rogan's podcast on with Ben Shapiro?
I did.
Oh, so you did listen to it.
I did, yeah.
Okay. What'd you
That was
think?
pretty good. Did you listen to it, Chaz?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. I first discovered him, in the fucking YouTube rabbit hole recently, with everything that's been going on lately, and eventually everything just
The algorithm led you to it.
yeah, I mean everything just ends up turning into left versus right. So like a lot of videos about him started popping up, and his opinions on everything and whatnot. So
Yeah, when you start searching for things, man, and more of the common things start to pop up. That's because the whole job of the internet is to keep you on their platform. So
right.
if you like looking at something, they're gonna keep showing it to you.
That's the bad part about it.
Yeah.
Because then you're in the echo chamber of every time I hear this, everyone else is saying it, so I must be right.
Why is the same thing with Facebook? Your friends keep saying something that you pay more attention to. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. If you pay attention to it, it will still come around. That's why if you let's just say make it political. You're a Democrat, but you're watching Republicans talk shit about something. That's going to keep popping up on your feed because you are watching it, and that's being something that you are fully watching and bringing it back on. So depending on what you watch, it is always going to in the way that Shawn, the way that you were saying it, it's going to make you think that the world is burning and everyone is an asshole, and it's just one of those things. You're fed what you accept.
The best part about the whole world is burning is both sides think the world is burning for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
So they agree it is in completely different reasons.
Right.
Everything going on in Portland, it is literally one or the other.
Yeah, I heard. Did you tell me this, or was it that people in Portland? It's basically it was Ben Shapiro. I was listening to the podcast, and he was saying that he said that whole thing that's going on now. They said it's 4 blocks, but of Portland. They saying that yes, it's it's kind of sucks what's going on in Portland, but they're saying that majority of what's going on in Portland, outside of that, it's just normal everyday stuff. At least that's what I heard. At least that one take on it.
It's, as far as I know, everything seems to be happening around that federal building. I think Ben Shapiro made a good comment.
It's only one small section of the city. That's it.
It was if you want the federal police to stop picking people up and arresting them, stop attacking the building. If these protesters stopped attacking the building, there would be no federal police there. But the mayor was there last night on the front lines saying, I want the federal police out of here.
Yeah. I haven't paid attention to it enough to even give my a decent opinion about it. I look at it and I'm just kind of it just looks like a shit show from me just glancing at it.
Oh,
and
it is.
And yeah, and so
weird,
getting back to Mr. Shapiro.
Yeah.
So I listened to the podcast and I actually liked it. I listened to Ben Shapiro before. I believe he was on there a year ago or something.
He's a regular guest.
I watched it. Yeah, and I listened to him. I listened to him on there. I like it when. So I'll say a few things that I like his rationalization. obviously he's biased, but it's not a hard bias by like where he would basically he's not extreme. So like, but he's solidly into the right column, but it's one of those things that like you kind of listen to him talk, and then like between him and Joe Rogan, I mean, I did not disagree with a lot that he said. Like there was a lot I actually agreed with. I was like, yeah, that makes more sense of like, regardless of the statistics, like it makes more sense of some of the things that he was, and actually a lot of the things that he was going with, along with like, the, racial inequality stuff. Like, he actually was in agreement with a lot of things that were being said and done. It's just, he was saying that he just thinks the method of like going about it is just wrong.
Yeah.
There's like a better way to go about it. And I think that, and that's fine. I mean, that's his opinion. And to a certain extent, I do agree with him, but it's one of those things that like, cause I was kind of like during the chat, like when Marcus brought him up and Nick started saying it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, he might be in the pocket of the oil company, sure, whatever, but there was no mention of that in the podcast. I mean, if you just listen to it like, maybe like, I'm not saying like, just listen to the dude on the podcast. Like that's a different platform that he's
one
on.
of my favorite, because one, he tells people he's biased. He doesn't hide behind, he doesn't pretend he's not. He's like, I'm biased. I'm right leaning. I've listened to him in a lot of debates or conversations, and he'd be like, well, I guess we'll just disagree. Yeah? We don't always have to agree on everything, which is it's nice. Like he doesn't keep pushing the fact that it's like sometimes people are not going to agree, but as long as the genuine intent to help people is there, like it's like no, he's like there's certain people. He's like I don't agree with them. He's like, but I think they do mean well. I just think they're doing, going about it the wrong way. He's like,
I actually like. I really like. I mean, that's why I guess Joe's platform is just so nice, is because he basically just lets the person talk, and then they have like a talk about like what they go with it. And the problem that I see, and the thing I see about like what people have a problem with Joe is that they think that the person he has on, that he agrees with what the person is saying, which is not true. He just lets them talk.
It's not just that. They don't want him to let them talk. Like Ben Shapiro a couple of years ago tried going to Berkeley and other colleges, and they were like, all of a sudden they canceled it. And then the one time he was like, well, I'm going to sue you. So then Berkeley, I think, spent like $600,000 in security for a 5'6", little guy. And he says it. He's like, I don't fight. He's like, I would get destroyed. He's like, but they thought I was such a huge threat to the well-being of everyone at this. They had to spend almost over $500,000 just to let me speak. It's like freedom of speech on college campuses is pretty much null and void. Like if you
to me that speaks volumes, because usually colleges are far leaning right or left. Sorry, far leaning left. And when you don't allow difference of an opinion into a conversation, or into at least your understanding of things, you're kind of stuck in this bubble, and it's almost one of those things that you just don't want to get out of, because everything that you're seeing, or at least everything that you're ingesting, you agree with. And I've taken a lot of leadership courses and a lot of leadership courses, and they have and basically like a sign of like a good way to go about like even like a project is that you need to get opinions from all angles, and to be open to those, because either two things will happen. Either one, it will solidify your stance, or two, it will change your mind because you didn't see it from a certain point of view. And ever since I took that, I've applied that to everything, and it made things a lot easier. I don't get stressed out. I don't it makes things like I enjoy conversations when people actually accept that. And it's one of those things that like that people just, they need to get out of their own bubble, man. Like it's like I don't agree with a lot of people on certain things, but I'll hear them out. Like, I want to hear what you're saying. Like, let me know what you're saying. Like, I want to know where your point of view is coming from. And then maybe I'll probably say like, oh yeah, okay, I could see that from that point of view. But it doesn't mean I necessarily agree with it. So, because I'm obviously biased in certain things, and that I believe that there are certain things going on that need to be looked at or changed or whatever. But and I know that a lot of people don't agree with that. I'm okay with that.
Right. Marcus, what did you think of Ben Shapiro? It's just us to talk.
You guys ready?
Yeah. Nick's gonna listen to it, so it doesn't matter.
You guys ready? You guys ready to listen to the voice of reason?
The voice of reason. Go ahead, Marcus. Say what you want.
I don't know too much about the guy to know to like him or kind of like follow him or anything like that. But the stuff that he says, the stuff that he talks about, regarding certain matters, to me, in my opinion, I guess, and it's like I'm gonna get to that whole thing about people's like opinions and like biases and shit. It's like, in my opinion, I feel as if a lot of the things he says are pretty much they're like the things that are pretty reasonable, but they're things that people just don't like to hear, because they're biased or because they're opinionated. They have their own opinions and stuff. And it's like, to me, depending on what the subject is, depending on what the matter is, I mean, it kind of comes to a point where opinions and biases pretty much got to get thrown out the window, and it's like somebody's just gonna have to figure out just how to correct whatever wrong or whatever somebody doesn't like. Like somebody's just gonna have to come up with a fucking solution for that. I mean, it's like everybody can give their opinions and everything like that, but it like at some point it's like, okay, it's like, so what's actually going to be the main solution to fix whatever issue / problem is. So I mean, like for the most part, I agreed with just about everything that he said on the podcast. I didn't necessarily agree with his opinion on how certain things should be corrected or improved, and I felt as if that was his own personal opinion, how that he feels, like for example, he mentioned about increasing the presence of police in impoverished lower income neighborhoods to kind of help corral the crime and everything that seems to happen in those parts. So basically businesses would want to come into those neighborhoods, and domino effect, yada yada yada. Everybody basically thrives off of that. I mean, that's obviously his opinion about that. That's his idea of how that can be corrected. Me personally, I just feel like, people just have to stop doing dumb shit you know. And I mean,
well, he said that too.
It's you know, like it's just you know, it's just basically which selection is I guess more achievable or more
what's more likely to happen.
Right. Yeah, like I wanted to say realistic, I guess, but I mean, again, I mean that's
I think both are
pretty much achieved by anybody.
I think both are more realistic. It's just one of those things that, like, yeah, I mean, obviously that was his opinion that, you know, what a possible solution would be. And I kind of agreed with that. I'm like, if you kind of look at it, the police presence in certain areas, I mean, crime goes down. I mean, that's just statistically proven. So for offices and for businesses to feel safe, they need to have like a police presence or something. So there has to be some sort of security. Like we have, like where I work, there's a security guard, and there's a pretty heavy police presence, at least in the area somewhat, and that makes people feel safe. There's actually guardian angels. I don't think they're called guardian angels now, but they're like, it was like rangers or something like that, where they actually drive you to your car if to basically make you feel like you're safe. So if someone's actually watching, so like make you feel safe. That's kind of one of those things that, like, that's what people want, like in those neighborhoods, like they want to feel safe. And because if I'm working in, like, say, I don't know, like the east side or something like that, I want to feel safe. Like I want to make sure that my car is not going to get broken into because something nice is on the dash or something. And the only way that will happen is if there's more police officers within the area that kind of patrol the area. So that's kind of why, like, I agreed with that. It made more sense because once that goes down, businesses go in, more opportunities happen within those, higher pay, you know, stuff like that.
That, and once the businesses go in, these businesses are paying taxes. That tax money goes to school systems. So, you know, you got better education. Better education has, as far as I know, has hurt nobody, right?
Yeah.
Like, I liked his idea. I think a good analogy may have been like New York City in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Like, it was, I mean, even when I went there for film school, my sister-in-law's like, you don't go on the subway, you'll get mugged, you'll get killed. It's fucking dangerous. Because there was still a lore that New York City was a very dangerous city.
Yeah.
Then Giuliani came in, and he was a law and order guy, and you know, him and someone said Trump helped out when he started putting big businesses in and made it like a luxury place so that people would want to be there. Rich people would want to be there. On top of crime going down. Yeah, stop and frisk is against the Constitution. Lowered crime. Did a lot of good for the city. When I went there, New York City was one of the safest places. You know, yeah, there was a lot of high numbers, but percentage-wise, it was lower for the amount of people that lived there. It turned into a pretty safe place to live.
Yeah.
Which now it is not. Not, you know, it's definitely not a safe place.
It's not there because there's no law and order. If there's no law and order, you know, people start to do even good people will start doing stupid things. Like
I'll tell you right now, if there was looting going on my walk home from work at the CVS near me, I don't feel like I'm a good person. But you goddamn better believe I would have went and stole some inhalers. I would have been stocked up on inhalers and maybe some multivitamins.
Yeah.
It would have had nothing to do with any, like, I wouldn't be going after anything else other than like, all right, I'll be breathing good for at least 2 years. Right?
Like, it's expensive. Like, people go after things that, like, are expensive for them and that they have to pay for. I don't care who you are. Like, I can't think of, like, anybody that wouldn't take advantage of a situation, right? That's how humans are. They take advantage of situations put in front of them. And that if there's nobody around and, like, there's, like, two people that are, like, let's just say, like, if if someone was breaking into a store or going into a store, I was in there, and all they're doing is just basically stealing shit and distracting. Like, I might actually just take something and walk out of the store because I'm not going to get caught. Like, it's,
Right.
and I would
have had a mask on.
Right.
I would have had my mask on because I would have needed it. You know, I would have covered my head. I would have tried walking differently. And then I would have hopped that fucking pharmacy counter and just started looking for inhalers.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, those, like, no one cares. Like, it's one of those things, like, anybody, I guarantee it, the dude that's rolling in the Cadillac, he's sure as hell taking something. And like, it's, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
the guy rolling in the Cadillac's going to keep driving because by the time he gets back, his Cadillac will be gone.
Well, yeah, there's that too. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I think, but yeah, and that's just getting back to the point. Like, police presence is something that's needed. And another factor in that is that you have a higher presence, and that will make more. It will make more of the residents more comfortable with the presence of police.
Right.
long as the police don't fuck up, and they do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That makes the residents more comfortable and used to seeing.
You're in a small town, right, Chaz? You live in a small town, so yeah. I mean, I don't know if you do, but like, it's a lot easier for you to get to know the cops and then for them to get to know you. It's a little bit easier. You're in a big city, cops don't know you, you don't know them. So there's a huge disconnect. So obviously, if you have more cops, you know, it's even like, I think foot patrol, you know, if they can get to know the people in the neighborhood, there's gonna be a lot less resentment. It's just a natural fact.
Exactly. And and like there was a person that we graduated high school with, is a Buffalo police officer, and talking to him, he's like, yeah, man, he's like, I have to make it, like, I make it a job to actually go out and know the area that I'm serving and the people in there, so they know who I am, because it makes my job a lot easier, and that they're comfortable with me, so they know, like, who to call or who to go to, you know, and that makes them more comfortable with, like, you know, it's an even exchange. Like, I'm comfortable with them, they're comfortable with me. I know, like, who would do something, or like, how nice they are. Like, you're basically getting to know someone. You're getting to know their personality. You're getting to know the neighborhood. You're understanding some of the issues in the neighborhood, and the public is getting to know you, of how you are as a, like, say, a police officer or something like that. And that exchange is a good thing, you know? So it's, you know, that creates a better overall picture. And I think that's kind of why I agreed with what Ben Shapiro was saying, is that more police presence is in those neighborhoods are better to weed things out, because it's true. Like, high police presence in, like, rich neighborhoods is there. I mean, there's literally, like, there's probably like two, 3 cops in my neighborhood.
Yeah, my brother-in-law got pulled over in Orchard Park just driving to work because it was late at night. They pulled him over. What are you doing in our town? And it was like 3 a.m. He's like, going to work. You know, they're like, we're gonna follow you. You don't go there, we're arresting you for lying to us. Like,
really?
Oh yeah, dude. You go to OP, like, you live there. Oh, I live here. I'm going home. Okay, cool. I'm going to work. I'm going to arrest you. And they followed him, you know, all the way to work.
Wow, that's a little extreme.
Well, I mean, that's like, but if you live in that town, I bet you feel a lot safer living in that town.
Well, yeah, but for me, I don't know how that would be with me, because they're, like, I don't know, like, how, like, I can predict how a situation might end up being, but that's where I would say that's, like, okay, they could pull them over, okay, fine, that, like, to see where they are. They're not being detained, but it's one of those things that, like when they say that, like, you're being arrested because you're lying to you, it's like one of those things that's just like, I'm like, is that really if you lie to a police officer, even though you're not detained, like is that like a thing?
Well, I mean, the whole thing, the whole reason why they can lie to you. Anyone can lie to you. Government can lie to you. Police can lie to you. And if you lie to them, it's like, oh, you're going to jail. You lied to them. Like, they lied to me. I hate the idea of it, but he also had like a shitty car. It wasn't like recently. It was years ago. Maybe 20 years ago. Like he had a bad car. Like Chaz, if you get pulled over, you have a nice vehicle. Like they might not do anything. They might just run your stuff while they're following behind you to see where you live, type of thing. See what you are, see who you are. But going back to Ben Shapiro, because he's right biased, which is nice. Kyle Kulinski is left leaning. He's a good equal. Like if you
is he on a show? Is he like the co-host of a show?
No, Kyle Kulinski has his own show. Ben Shapiro has his own show. But they're both like one's left, one's right, but they're both pretty intelligent and they make very good points on a lot of subjects. But Ben Shapiro debated Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. Probably one of the best debates I ever listened to. I don't care for debates that much, but that was fucking great. That was a great debate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good points made on both sides?
Yes. Yeah, it was good points made on both sides. From my understanding, Cenk Uygur usually during a debate will start like attacking attacking the person instead of the points. But he didn't do that at all. He was they both stayed online. They weren't attacking each other personally, and they stuck with basically just talking points. And you can listen to it, and you can still agree with either one. It doesn't matter. Like you agree with Shapiro on some stuff and Cenk on some other stuff. Like they made some really good points. It was really fun to listen to.
Yeah. You know what the funny thing is though about Ben Shapiro? I find him very robotic.
Really?
It's like, like it's one of those things. Like I find him very, very robotic because it's almost like there's like no emotion behind his talk, which is funny. And it's just, it's not nothing against the guy, but it's just like, or his views or anything like that. I'm just saying it's just like, I don't know. It's just funny. Like when someone's too calculated, they come off too robotic, and actually, that's how I tend to be when I try to make a point at work. I'm pretty robotic. Like I'll just like hang up and just like long as I know the meeting's like over, everyone's like, okay, bye, yeah, okay. Oh, and another thing, click. I'm like, fuck that, I'm out.
I said goodbye, I'm gone. I said good day, sir.
I hate wasting time at work, only because too much time is wasted for needless shit, and I'd rather get off the phone.
We've been threatened with lockdown again, so I don't like it's day to day. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have a job for a little while, like again.
Oh, really? Like that now? It's getting to that bad now?
I don't think so. I don't think the death rate's like super high.
Oh, that's right. California just surpassed New York in numbers, supposedly.
Of cases.
Yeah.
New York is still king of death rate. Bless you. As far as I know. Marcus, you going to get Ben Shapiro's new book, 3 Ways to, Destroy America?
Marcus, don't read.
Probably not. Like I said, I'm not too invested. I'm not too invested with the guy, but like as far as these topics, going on right now, he makes some pretty good points that that are basically the fucking truth, but nobody wants to hear it because everybody's hard-headed. But that's the American way. So I mean, I'm not going to get too invested with the guy. Again, I give 0 fucks about politics, and that's basically, that just kind of ends up, that's just kind of where the conversation ends up going. It's just fucking left, like fucking left versus right, and it's like I don't need to hear all that shit. You know, just give me the bullet points about, you know, the pressing topics, and I'll be on my way.
Like the Hodge twins?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't stop watching them now. Those guys are fucking hilarious.
They are. I used to watch them when they were doing more fitness stuff. And then when they started getting political, I was just like, I gotta stop. Because some of the things they say are just kind of retarded. But they,
It's, a lot of stuff is fun. It's fucking hilarious.
it is. I mean, I'm not
like,
gonna lie, it is. But I hate, the thing I hate is like that political satire, because they basically do reaction videos is really what they do.
Yeah.
And then when you like, they used to do like reaction videos to like everything, like not political, non-political mostly, but it was like, but then like they started doing that, and it's just started getting to like, I don't know, like I guess they would take like a sensitive political tone to like subject, and then they would give like a really right view on it, and I just never I've never thought of it as being funny, or at least I kind of look at it as just being like, I knew what they were doing, because they wouldn't do it unless it was in their benefit. And this is what I was telling Marcus about these fucking hot twins, is that they were because they were doing all this fitness stuff like a year or two ago, or 3 years ago, or something like that. Yeah. So they were doing like all this fitness stuff, and these guys were fucking hilarious. That's how I got Marcus into them, because I was like, Marcus, you gotta listen to these dudes. These dudes are fucking hilarious. And then the YouTube apocalypse happened, which is basically anything that was like vulgar or not like PG-13 type of thing. Like the ads would actually disappear from their channel, because the ad companies would have more pull into saying what type of videos they want their stuff shown on. So since they were like swearing, talking about jizz and all sorts of stupid shit, they got hit hard. So the $7,000 to like $10,000 a month that they were making or more, it probably got cut in half or even worse. So they switched their platform to where it was a paid like kind of like a Patreon, kind of like $2 a month will get you like access to their videos, which people don't pay that shit, man. Not a lot. Like sometimes they do, but it's not going to be as much as you got before.
Well,
so
Steven Crowder got banned, demonetized from YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was going to really hurt him and the people that work with him, or that work for him, I should say. He owns the whole thing. And so many people bought subscriptions because they thought it was such a bullshit thing.
Yeah.
He was able to like build a new studio, and like,
oh really?
Oh yeah, like, because the people like, if you think someone's wronged, it's like, yeah, I'll give you $2 a month. It's like, that's bullshit, you know? Like, you change the rules mid thing, and now all of a sudden all your stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that fucked up a lot of people. That fucked up a lot of channels, and
so people will give people money when they think they're wronged.
I think so, but it was I don't know. I think the Hodge twins were slightly different because how they approached things, and they I mean, they were still like, they had like supplements, they had shirts, they had like all sorts of things. I'm not sure if they still sell some of that stuff, but
they still sell shirts.
They still sell shirts.
Oh yeah, that's actually a pretty big thing on stuff I watch, like Jimmy Dore, the Hodge twins, like on the YouTube. Like, you can look right down below, and it'll be like different shirts you can purchase and stuff from their website. Like, it's almost like a direct link to their website.
Yeah. So I told them, I'm like, well, they did a smart move, a very smart move. It kind of, I would say it obviously shifted their audience, because I stopped watching them because they did it, but it was a very smart move. You know, they started doing things more like, I actually almost think I remember when this happened, like almost like the video or at least close to it. They started talking about more conservative things, and like obviously they were making a lot of money. So, and like the more money you usually make, you're pretty much going to end up being more Republican than not, because you're saving more money in that
you want less taxes
with their policy. Yeah, with their taxes. And so that only makes more sense for that. So they started becoming more conservative with their views, like with like their talk, and they started actually talking about like politics, and when they know how to run their to YouTube and all that stuff. So you put tags in there like political, Trump 20 or Trump 2016, all that stuff. And they started seeing like these hits, like bigger numbers, and people, and anybody that's like in the political pool that like wants to see that stuff, they will pay for it. Not like comedies as much, but they will pay for it. And if they're funny, which they are, they will. It's a comedic right view that like money, like pay $2 a month for us to give you full videos and blah 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 whatever, or pay for buy our merchandise that has like fuck Hillary or something silly like that.
I haven't seen any of those shirts, but like they got like the like I think it was like 1776 with the stars, like the 13 stars around it, like
and like it's like highly patriotic, highly conservative views, like people eat that up like Sunday breakfast, man. That shit is fucking like so like and especially if it's funny, and it's just like people will pay for that easy. Easy.
Especially right now with the Black Lives Matter, and they talk shit about.
Oh man!
Two black guys talking shit about Black Lives Matter.
Look. If I was on entertainment or on TV, or like a platform or something like that, and I'm like, I got to get money. Like I want to get money and as fast as I can. The more extreme approach you have to like online, the more people are going to gravitate towards it. And it's just because it's just so extreme. And it's like because it might not be the exact view of everyone, but it might be like a thought that they've had in the back of their head, and if you sound intelligent, they'll go towards you. And
they're only
like I would do it. I'd be I don't know, like
they're not even far. They're not even far right.
No, they're not.
It's just the fact that they're conservative is considered extreme.
Yeah, and
why?
Like, and to be honest, I just I do think they're kind of retarded, but it's you just have to kind of make funny points, jabs, like all that stuff, man. If I like I said, I'd be doing exactly what they would do online, without a doubt in my head, because it gets views. Like I see it on my Facebook page. It's crazy. You put up one thing that is like controversial, and people will just like, no, you're not. No, fuck that. Like they have to say something. Like they have to engage, and you engaging helps them.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's good or not. And it's just, that's how the internet is played, man. And they know how to play it. And it's amazing. And that people don't see this happen.
I can't wait till we learn how to. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to follow us, we are on Instagram and Twitter at 4Man Podcast. And you can go on Facebook to 4 Men and a Little Podcast. See you again next week.